We're born in the moonlight. Ain't no fantasy. Can't breathe in the sunlight.
Hello beautifuls, this is Aromie here. Welcome back to Changeling. We're here with Elliot Route, Chapter 1. The vampire next door, I believe, was a title, I don't remember, but here we are. There was singing. I was lost in the dark and all I was aware of was that sound as it led me on, flickering in my head like a faint light. Surely I was dreaming again, but not a normal dream, because there was nothing but the dark, the biting cold, and tiny voices leading me forward. The whisper of footsteps through withered undergrowth cut through the song in a part of my mind, wondered why everything in this dream was so muffled and strange. I tried to roll over and bury myself in my blankets, but found I couldn't. And why is it so cold? Michiko. My voice sounded thick, uneasy, and so far away. Michiko? The darkness. Oh, the woods. The darkness receded a bit, but it was so difficult to open my eyes. My body feels heavy. Something warm touched my arm. I jolted awake. The singing screeched to a halt like someone yanking the needle across an old vinyl record. I flinched away from the sound even though it was only in my head. Sensation hit me again. I shivered violently in the night air. My brain slowly tried to catch up to what my eyes were seeing. I wasn't in bed. I was standing at the edge of the woods, staring into the shadows beneath the trees. This again. As the wind gusted through the branches, I shivered, and not just because of the cold this time. I've been sleepwalking again, and I managed to get outside. Again. Why? Why was this suddenly happening? It was already the third time since we moved back that I'd done this. Chico? Jesus, who's out here? It has to be Elliot, right? I whirled around, arms flailing out at the unexpected sound. My hand connected solidly with something, which I instantly realized was someone's face. Oh shit, not just someone though. Elliot. I froze, my hand still planted awkwardly on his chest. Oh jeez. I'm so sorry for slapping you. I ripped my hand away anxiously and pressed it to my mouth in horror. Sorry, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you. No, are you okay? I'm so sorry. Even in the moonlight, I could see the splotchy handprint on his cheek. Oops. I'm fine. He moved closer and I caught the glint of his pale eyes in the moonlight. The night cast eerie shadows across his pale face, and I suddenly found myself swallowing nervously as I remembered my goofy neighbor was in fact a vampire. Are you okay? I saw you walking in the woods, but you didn't answer when I called out. He set a cold hand on my shoulder and looked down at me, concerned. I was sleepwalking. He seemed a little distracted. That voice in my sleep must have been Elliot. I'm okay, I think. Your face, though. I'm sorry, It's really fine. Something like this won't even leave a mark. I'm really sorry. I just didn't realize anyone was behind me. He released my shoulder and rubbed the back of his neck. It's okay. Though I have to say you hit pretty hard for... If you say for a girl, I'm gonna hit you again. I was gonna say for someone so small. Oh. I punched him on the arm. Ow! He laughed and rubbed his shoulder. His smile quickly faded as he studied me again. His expression was uncharacteristically serious. You shouldn't be outside alone at this time of night, though. He's not going to ask why I'm out here in the first place. I wouldn't have had a coherent answer anyway, but it was odd that he wasn't curious. Then again, he was outside too. Maybe this was typical cryptic behavior? I understand. I should just go back inside. It's probably a good idea. It's not really safe out here this time of year, especially when you're running around in your pajamas. Yeah, that's also a bit, His eyes traveled over my mostly bare shoulders, my neck. I reached up self-consciously to adjust the thin straps of my pajama top. Why is he staring like that? His lips parted again, but he didn't say anything. I suddenly remember every single vampire movie I'd ever seen. This one where just the sight of a bare neck cuts in a vampire into a frenzy. Don't tell me he's... Michiko. My heart lodged in my throat as he took a step toward me. You're... This is bad. Without thinking, I stepped back. He came even closer, his eyes dripping a little lower. What is going on? Oh god, should I scream? You're cold, right? Huh? Cold? Cold? I crossed my arms over my chest and narrowed my eyes, suddenly worried for an entirely different reason. Here, let me... He wasn't planning to bite me. I was not fearing that at all, to be honest. Part of me wanted to hit him again just for scaring me, or for staring. Maybe both. He started to pull off his hoodie. Hang on. I watched him struggle to pull one of his arms through the sleeve. It looked like something had gotten caught in the fabric. My bracelet. It's okay, I can just... No, I mean, just hang on one sec. What? I can't believe I was actually scared there for a second. This is just Elliot after all. Aha! How tight was your hoodie on you? He finally pulled his arm free and wrapped the hoodie tightly around my shoulders, holding it closed at the neck. That's better, right? I appreciate the gesture, but you don't have to give me this. No, I definitely think you need it. I mean, it's really cold, right? You're rubbing your arms and stuff. Alright, and he looked away quickly. I couldn't see in the dark, but I was betting he was bright red. And stuff, huh? I held the hoodie tightly closed at the neck, making sure it covered the front well so Elliot wouldn't have to be embarrassed about stuff anymore. What, my chest? Thank you. Hey, I'm really sorry if I interrupted whatever you were doing. I was just worried because you didn't have shoes and it can be dangerous at night, so I followed you. Not that I was trying to stalk you or be creepy. I mean, I was just worried. Don't worry about it. You didn't really interrupt anything. Can I just please tell him I'm sleepwalking? I glanced up towards the house. I should probably be getting back inside, but couldn't go back up the narrow path because Elliot was blocking the way. So I guess I'll just head back now. Right, sorry. Elliot stepped to the side, rubbing the back of his neck. I moved past him carefully and started back up the slope to the backyard. He followed right behind me silently, making me feel both awkward and self-conscious. Unfortunately, I had my frozen feet to distract me. My toes were stinging with each step. I was really lucky Elliot had stopped me before I had gotten far. It was pretty amazing what the body could apparently ignore while I was asleep, like freezing pine needles and dead leaves jabbing into the fleshy parts of my feet. How I could possibly get so far without that waking me up was beyond me. My foot suddenly hit a patch of wet leaves. It slipped right out from under me and down I went. Watch out! His arms were suddenly around my waist, keeping me from face planting on the cold ground. I stood there, breathing heavily for a minute as I tried to regain my footing. Jeez, this is not my night. You okay? Yeah, it's just a bit slippery. Too many wet leaves on the path. He held me right myself before releasing me. You okay now? Yeah, nice reflexes. Well, I am a vampire after all. Is that Danny? Or just another one? In the distance, a loud howl suddenly went up, startling us both. I very nearly jumped right back into his arms. Holy crap, is that a wolf? It didn't sound remotely like a coyote. Probably. Danny aside, there are several werewolf clans in the area. Saying of which, where is Danny? Two are usually together. Full moon. I glanced overhead where it was shining brightly. I hadn't even thought about that. Man, I was really standing outside in my pajamas, talking to my vampire neighbor about my werewolf neighbor, howling in the distance. This is my life now. What the actual heck? Yeah, he tends to wander pretty far away from the neighborhood to avoid being seen. A huge wolf in these woods would definitely cause a stir. He wouldn't want to start any weird rumors, for sure. It's probably true, but it was freezing cold and Danny was apparently wandering miles from home by himself. That was just sad. Must be lonely. Yeah, I think it is. I hang out with him sometimes, but he doesn't really like people seeing him like that. Even me. I didn't know what to say to that, really. He walked me the rest of the way to the back gate. I was careful not to attempt to faceplant on the path again. I set my hand on the latch and turned to him, giving him a sheepish smile. I'm really sorry I hit you. No, it's totally okay, really. I wanted to thank him for stopping me before I got into the woods, too. But if I did that, he'd know something wasn't right. Thank him anyway? I decided to thank him anyway. If he hadn't stopped me, who knows where I had ended up. Thank you for... He covered up my lips with his finger before I could finish. It's fine. I'm not that cold anyway. Don't worry about it. You can give it back to me tomorrow. It's cute. He's cute. Give it back. Oh, he thought I was about to thank him for the hoodie. Fine then. I'd just leave it at that. Okay. Well, thanks anyway. I said it's fine. Okay, so good night? Yeah, good night. Oh my god, I already feel like I'm gonna love this route so much. I let myself back in the gate and stole quietly across the backyard to the house. I looked back once and Elliot was still watching. It wasn't until I stepped through the door that he also headed back to his house. I stood quietly in the kitchen, my back to the door for a moment, trying to settle my thoughts. First, I need to just clean up a bit. I made quick work of wiping down my feet with paper towels and cleaning up the small mess I'd left in front of the door. And finally, I dragged myself upstairs. Anxiety didn't set in until I was back in my room and had nothing else to occupy my thoughts. I lay in bed staring up at my ceiling. Why was I suddenly sleepwalking? More importantly, why was I leaving the house? I didn't need Elliot to tell me it was dangerous. It didn't matter what time of year it was. Roaming around at night while asleep was going to be dangerous. What should I do about this? Should I tell Mom? But what if it isn't just normal sleepwalking? Mom wouldn't be able to help with it, and I'd just kick up a fuss about something she couldn't do about. I didn't want that, and that would just cause more trouble. The family didn't need drama right after we had just moved back. I could only imagine how they assumed it was some kind of past trauma or some nonsense like that. I could tell Allie, but then what if it was just normal sleepwalking? Allie wouldn't be able to help with an actual medical issue, and she had enough on her plate at the moment. I wasn't even sure what kind of paranormal phenomenon could make someone start sleepwalking, unless it was some kind of strange fae thing, which I really couldn't roll out, to be honest. I groaned and rubbed my eyes tiredly as I rolled over. I glanced at my clock and revealed that it was nearly 3 in the morning. I had to be up in a few hours for school. I couldn't solve this problem huddled under my blankets, holding back a panic attack. I needed to try to get some sleep so I could think about it rationally later. I'd have to add it to my list of topics to research. More than that, I'd have to put it at the top. This one was important. I shut my eyes and immediately saw Elliot's face. I wondered what he was doing outside in the first place. Not hunting or whatever, I assumed. He told me before that it was illegal to bite people without permission. Unless he ate furry woodland creatures, which wasn't really something I wanted to think about. Elliot with his face buried in some poor squirrel's neck, blood dripping down. Ugh, gross. As I drifted off, I tried to imagine what it was like to be a vampire, to say if I want to bite people. I wonder what that's like. I had to deal with sleepwalking. Danny dealt with wolf transformations. Elliot dealt with things like having to drink blood or having weird cravings. We really are just a bunch of weirdos, aren't we? It was the last thought I had before finally dropping off to sleep. Morning came way too soon. When my alarm went off, only the barest hints of lights were spreading across the sky. I was not happy, but driven by the threat of Mom sending Spencer to wake me up, I stumbled out of bed and went through the tedious routine of getting ready for school. As I got my crazy bed hair situated, I stared at my reflection in the mirror, wholly unimpressed with the circles under my eyes. Sleep deprivation definitely did not agree with me. After stopping back by my room to grab my jacket and shoes, I went downstairs for breakfast. Mom was nowhere to be seen, but a plate with an egg toast was waiting for me on the island. I sighed as I poured myself a cup of coffee. These days, mornings always brought with it a confusing combination of tedium and peculiarity. Everyday life was going on around me, but I had one foot there and one foot in Wonderland. Movies with their carefully crafted drama made it seem easy, and here I was struggling to manage each day with the least amount of supernatural teen angst. I huffed an annoyance as I bit into my toast. I didn't even get to do the cool stuff. The rest of the club members were suddenly busy preparing for Samhain and running around town doing whatever that entailed. I was stuck researching fairies and trying to figure out what the heck I even was. I'd offered to help with their preparations, but Allie kept saying I should just focus on learning for now. I could consider interning later. To be honest, I wasn't sure I wanted to intern or anything like that. I just didn't want to feel like I was desperately clutching to the fringes of some strange group without being fully a part of it or fully on the outside. Part of me felt left out, and part of me wanted to stop thinking, researching, and trying to understand. I just wanted to be immersed to the point I didn't have time to stop and worry about the ins and outs of it all. The others had been doing it so long, it just came naturally, like Elliot last night. He didn't bat an eye at finding me out there, or hearing a potential werewolf in the distance. I wanted that same level of confidence handling all this. As it was, I was just floundering around like a panicked idiot. I took a long sip of coffee, clutching the mug protectively. At least you're still a blissful constant, my friend. I heard the soft jingle of metal coming down the stairs and expected Spencer to appear, cranky and ready to curdle the milk with the sheer force of his sour gaze. Instead, it was a familiar brown creature with spindly legs and inky eyes. I mean, the brownie's cute. I watched it prance through the kitchen, Spencer's car keys in tow, and disappear down the hall. Pinching the bridge of my nose, I set my coffee down and waited. 5, 4, 3, 2. The heavy thud of Spencer's feet sounded in the upstairs hall and were coming my way. It was getting a bit faster on the uptake, but apparently still hadn't caught the little brown thing, a well-souled spirit as Allie called it, in the act yet. That was probably for the best, but it meant I usually got the blame for the missing keys. No matter that, he couldn't figure out how I managed to sneak into his room and take them without him seeing me. As for the little brown thing, well, I'm sure you can see it because you're also Fae. A lot of the houses in our neighborhood oh, okay, I already read this before. I don't know why it won't let me skip already read dialogue, but I guess it's because we're like an Elliot's Route, so it's like, oh no, you have not read this before. But if you made them mad, they would prank the hell out of you as punishment, and Spencer had definitely found a way to make ours mad. He reached to the kitchen a few seconds later, a scowl already plastered on his face. The keys are missing again. I drained my cup and set it in the sink. I don't remember what I chose last time. Maybe they're in the front cabinet again? Check the front cabinet. That's usually where they seem to end up. The creature had been going that way, so I assumed it put the keys in the usual spot. Hopefully they weren't covered in peanut butter this time, though. Right, seemed to. Yeah, I knew what he was implying. When you come up with a way that I'm sneaking into your room while you're in it, and getting them out, or getting without you seeing or hearing me, then you can accuse me. Until then, maybe you need to start considering calling an exorcist. What I'm considering is a way to catch you in the act at one morning. Good luck with that. I know you're doing it somehow. Right, maybe I'm using magic or my alien buddies are helping. I expected him to roll his eyes and stomp away. Instead, he tipped his head back and regarded me seriously through narrowed eyes. I don't know why you really joined that club in school. What? He stormed out of the kitchen toward the foyer, leaving me contemplating how severe my whiplash was from that change in topic. What did he mean by that? Was he connecting the Mysteries Club with the weird things going on at home? That was definitely worrying. I hadn't expected him to make a connection there, not this soon anyway. Though in all honesty, I'd love nothing more than to be able to tell him the truth about everything, but I couldn't do that. It had never been more apparent how poorly that would go over. And this is where I am going to save for today's episode, covering up William as we're going by, and it's making me sad. But Elliot's Route, here we are, praying. I don't know what I'm praying for. All I'm praying for is that I'm not going to be too scared or too upset. Because Danny, I was upset. Williams, I was just scared. So I don't know what this route's what kind of overly emotion I'm going to have on this one. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.